well round 9, had absolutely everything, a draw, a couple of absolute shellackings, and the Buffaloes had another win. The NTFL competition has never been better, and who better to discuss all the action with than Gray Morris here on DK and Gray. Gray, it's a great competition at the moment.
Yes, it is, Dave. It's probably the best competition almost since I've been up here, and that's since 1994. So certainly the NTFL has got a lot of pats on the back.
Well, that's a huge statement, and we were treated to another round of cracking games on the weekend, and we had to kick things off with the DK and Gray play of the day. Check out this footage from William Rioli Jr. This was some sort of goal.
Ross Tungatalum to Willie Rioli, stuck the Jukes up, second grab, almost took the mark. He might gather the crumb. He went on the right foot. Don't tell me, Willie! Oh, that is an unbelievable goal! Willie Rioli Jr. just ran rings around them.
Cracking goal from William Rioli, but it wasn't enough for his Tiwi Bombers to get over the line. Gray, they were there for a half, but the Buffaloes too strong in the end. It was an incredible performance by the Double Blues.
Well, you're right, Dave. They kicked 6 goals to 2 in the first quarter, did the Bombers, and it looked like how far here. But you're right, the Buffaloes, they're a resurgent side. They're playing some terrific football under Mark. They could almost finish top 3.
Well, big call, Gray, and you mentioned the top 3. I want to mention a few names to come back into that side. We talk of Anderson times 2, Stephen Anderson and Joe Anderson also back into the side. Todd Miles, Matt Campbell and possibly Andrew McLeod. Wow.
And watch out, I can reveal now, watch out for one D. White to play this weekend against Wanderers, Darryl White.
Well, that's a huge inclusion. Wanderers, as you mentioned, Gray, on the other hand, they're a side that are really struggling at the moment.
Wanderers are in real trouble, Dave. I'm not quite sure what's wrong there. They've got the players. They've got the same side virtually they had last year, maybe missing a couple, but I think confidence is a word down there. They just have to start winning again.
Well, the Buffaloes take on Wanderers 3:10 at TIO Stadium. Should be a cracking game. Another big game that is also coming up is on Sunday. Palmerston are taking on Nightcliff. Palmerston on the weekend, Gray. They were impressive, maybe a little bit unlucky not to get the points in the end.
Well, Dave, we all thought they'd have a real good shot, Palmerston. 25 points up in the third quarter, and when Cameron Clay kicked his sixth goal, I think, and it looked like how far the Maggies, and what a win it would have been. But this St Mary's side can never be written off. They came back and drew with a last-minute goal, in fact, the last second goal from Luke Stapleton.
Well, it was a good resurgence in the end from Saints. They've got a never-say-die attitude. The Palmy Army, on the other hand, they were silenced in that last quarter.
They were making a lot of noise in the first half and a bit, but you're right, when St Mary's came at it, you couldn't hear much from the Palmy Army, so it just goes to show you have to win to make any noise.
Another big test for the Magpies this week. They take on Nightcliff, and ahead of the game, I spoke to the Tigers coach, Damian Hale. What's the side looking like moving into the match?
Not too bad, Dave. Yeah, we've got a couple out with Gibson Turner won't play, a slight hamstring, and Desi Nandy's gone back to Alice for a week. But Boo Parfitt's down in Melbourne, but we've got a few good ins coming back in as well. So Ash Duncan's back, and Robbie Hicks and Jimmy Anderson. So we're looking forward to the game.
It was a big second quarter against Waratahs. I felt like it was a real stabilising quarter for you guys after a couple of losses. You must have been happy with the performance after quarter time against Waratah on the weekend.
Yeah, we're happy with where we're at. Like we're 7-2. We would have taken that at the start of the year. We've got 3 games to finish off before Christmas. So hopefully we can win a couple of those and set ourselves up for the second part of the year. So we're reasonably happy with where we're at. We think we can improve. We've still got a few guys that we haven't given an opportunity to yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they go when they do get their opportunity.
And the last time you guys played Palmerston, there was a little bit going on off the field after the game. Is there a bit of extra passion in this game, do you think?
Oh, well, I don't know. I suppose you're referring to Mark's, to the President's speech on the bus, and there's been a bit said, but when it's all said and done, like you get out there on the footy field and we've got a healthy rivalry with Palmerston anyway, and I think both clubs are going to be strong clubs in the future. We've got good junior programs, and we've won a lot of junior flags, both clubs, in the last couple of years, so I think that'll filter through into the Premier League team. So I expect just a hard game of footy every time we play them, so I don't think any of that stuff really will make much difference.
Well, Palmerston taking on Nightcliff. Good luck to Damian Hale and his Tigers, and of course good luck to the Palmerston Magpies and Dean Rioli. But another big game on Saturday night as well, Gray. The AFL NTV match of the round, and this sees Southern Districts take on St Mary's. Well, the first time these two teams met during the season, Gray, St Mary's clung on for dear life and somehow managed to win. How do you see it playing out this time?
You're right, though. They were a long way back, St Mary's, early in the season. They came back and, as you say, overran Districts. The same as they did last season. Districts were a fair way in front then. So really, if St Mary's are going to have to chase them down again, it could be any sort of game. Districts, of course, playing some very good football. They are very big winners over Wanderers last week. A lot of confidence out there at Fred's Pass.
I want to talk about Districts. They've got some tall forwards up forward. Willie Farah, 6 goals on the weekend. Troy Taylor, another 3. Richard Tambling comes into the side. How do you see the matchups for St Mary's?
Well, St Mary's will get... in fact, I spoke to the coach yesterday, Rick Nolan. He told me they've got 9 first gamers out. So that's a huge loss. But they're going to have to rely on the usual suspects like Iggy Vallejo, probably running off a half-back flank. One of the Rioli boys is back this week. I'm not quite sure which one. And of course up forward they're probably going to be without Ewing again. So they're going to have to find some secret up there who's going to kick some goals for them.
Well, we all look forward to seeing how that one plays out. Southern Districts and St Mary's live and exclusive on AFL NTV in high definition. So excited for that one, Gray.
Sounds like a beauty.
Another game that's coming up on Saturday and will be played on Bathurst Island. Tiwi taking on Waratahs. Both of these sides out of the 5 at the moment, and both of them desperate for a win, Gray.
It's a must-win, isn't it? Waratahs, of course, now have lost 8 in a row, and they'll be desperate to win. They were very ordinary last week against Nightcliff. Kicked 4 of the first 5 goals, and the Waratah supporters down below me were starting to make some noise, Dave, but by the end of the game they were as quiet as a morgue.
Let's quickly talk about Waratahs, Gray. 2 goals, 3 after quarter time. How do they go against Tiwi at a ground, I should say, that traditionally you need to kick a very high score to win at?
Well, they've got to kick the ball long, Dave. They can't try and outrun the Bombers. The Bombers are way too quick and way too skilled on their home ground, as you said. The only way to get it to go long, and hopefully they can find some marking options, Waratahs, because they have to try something.
Well, that game on Bathurst Island on Saturday. Let's take a look at the ladder, and we can see here that St Mary's, well, they're 2 points clear on top of the ladder. Buffaloes and Palmerston also in the top 5. It's going to be difficult to see Waratahs, Tiwi Bombers or Wanderers are actually getting back into that top 5, Gray.
Well, they've got to start winning. They've got 10, 11 and 12 and then 6 games after Christmas. The Wanderers people keep saying that they're going to make their usual resurgence after Christmas, but gee, they can't leave it late because it's a very tight competition.
Well, as we've seen this year, Gray, anything can happen in the NTFL, and that's what we're all loving about it. But for this week, Gray, looking forward to the footy once again. As we mentioned, Southern Districts and St Mary's is our game of the round, but we'll also be able to see Buffaloes and Wanderers live on AFL NTV as well. So a big blockbuster day on AFL NTV. Make sure you tune in on Saturday. But from us here at DK and Gray today, thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.